Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking the video and subscribing to the channel are free and easy for you, and they help me out a lot. If you want to go further with your support, Patreon and YouTube membership offer access to the BoshNRoll Discord community, early access to lists, written content, things like that. You can have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use YouTube membership, you also get sweet badges and emotes integrated here into YouTube. You can support the channel while you shop at tcgplayer.com by using my affiliate link in the video description, and you can play any deck anytime by using a cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. If you want to wear your support, check out the merch store. And of course, thanks for being here. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome to another BoshNRoll Legacy video. Today, at the request of an anonymous channel supporter, I am playing what they call Red Guy L. This is a list that they sent me that needed quite a bit of work. It was a brew that they had in their head kicking around and sent it over to me to clean it up. Not only did the brew need some cleaning up, but the list was also pretty outdated just because of the backlog and how long it takes between you submit a deck and when it goes live. There were still Ragavans in this list. Neon Dynasty wasn't out yet when they sent the list. There was just a lot of stuff to do, and it was a fun project cleaning it up. The core of this deck is, it is a fair Mardu deck featuring Queen Marchesa. That was kind of the criteria. They were like, here's my deck, change it how you want, keep Queen Marchesa in there, and keep it fair. I have done all of those things. Let's read Queen Marchesa just in case you're not an EDH player. Mardu +1, so 4 total mana, Death Touch Haste. When Marchesa enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch, a powerful mechanic in Legacy. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent is the Monarch, create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch and Haste. So Marchesa gives you the Monarch. She's also really good at getting the Monarch back, creating tokens that you are disincentivized to block. They're good at attacking, and they're hard to block because they have Death Touch. Marchesa is a very cool and powerful card. The shell that it's in is just a little Dead Guy Al. And if you're not familiar with Dead Guy Al, that is a Stoneforge Mystic, Dark Confidant, land destruction kind of black-white deck. The history of that is much longer. It goes back to Chris Pikula and Team Dead Guy back in the 90s. I have done that history lesson on the channel before. Go look up one of my Dead Guy L videos if you want to hear it all. But this is Red Guy L because we are Mardu for Queen Marchesa and some other stuff. The Stoneforge Mystic package I've included is Umezawa's Jitte, Lion Sash, Batterskull, and Kaldra, which 4 is a lot of equipment to have in a 60-card deck, but I really want Batterskull and Kaldra to be present in the deck because I want my Stoneforge Mystic to represent a real threat if I have the read in like a combo matchup where they're not really going to interact with it. I just want to be able to punch. I want to be able to recoup my life total with Batterskull against aggressive decks or against my own Dark Confidants and Thoughtseizes. And Lion Sash is a cool new tool that I'm still exploring. I'm not sure if it's good enough for 60-card piles, but I played it once before on the channel and I did like it. And then Umezawa's Jitte is a card that I have been lower on in main decks because removal is so good these days. It's really hard to equip a creature with just a regular equipment. Like, Lion Sash is a creature, Batterskull is a creature, Kaldra is a creature. Umezawa's Jitte is the only one in the deck that you have to put into play and then spend mana to equip to something before you get to even pretend to attack. And the removal in Legacy is so good that that makes this hard. But this deck has a lot of creatures in it. It's got the Lion Sash, the Stoneforge Mystic, the Dark Confidant, Marchesa and her tokens. Even the backside of Hiritsugu, Consumes All, can pick up a Jitte. I think that it's worth exploring here. And this deck has a big thing that blue Stoneblade decks don't have, which is discard spells. Inquisition, Thoughtseize, and Hymn to Tarok all chill in here. These can clear the removal spells, and then you get to start accruing value with your Jitte. Casting Hymn to Tarok in a 3-color deck can be a big ask. I added lands to the deck. Just the raw number of lands is up from the original brew I was sent, and I included an Urborg, plus included an extra Badlands, just skewed the mana base in the black direction. I don't really like having a basic plains in the deck, but there is a sideboard Blood Moon strategy. There's 2 Blood Moons in the board, and I think Blood Moon's actually pretty good in Legacy right now, or at least against the matchups I'm worried about with this deck. I do like keeping that there. The original brew had 2 planes, but that's too much. We're just never casting a spell in the main deck if we have 2 planes in this deck. Removal going nuts in this pile. 4 Plow, 2 Bolt, Angrath's Rampage, Liliana of the Veil, Sudden Edict, Kaya, Hidetsugu Consumes All, March of Otherworldly Light, and Prismatic Ending. Nothing sticking to this board. The goal is to just pick them clean and then pull ahead. Answers to Murktide Regent specifically, Swords to Plowshares, Sudden Edict, Angrath's Rampage, Liliana can all challenge a Murktide Regent. And then out of the sideboard, there's 3 Red Blasts as well. Normal creatures don't really stand a chance against this deck. They need something special like Murktide Regent or True Name Nemesis or Kappa Cannon here. Yikes. Hope we don't pair it against that one. But the Edict effects are above average at dealing with that card as well. That's really the deck. Like, we are trying to offer 1-for-1 trades with removal and discard, and then pull ahead on 2-for-1s like Stoneforge Mystic, Dark Confidant, Hymn to Turok, Planeswalkers. And of course, Queen Marchesa becoming the Monarch is a X for 1, where X is the number of turns you're the Monarch. Really simple, classic, honest game plan here. Nothing cheesy going on. We're going to trade off resources, then someone's going to pull ahead, and that's what it's going to look like. Let's jump into this league. I'm on the draw in round 1. My hand does cast its spells, which I like. I don't like not having a discard spell, but I am going to keep. I do have Swords to Plowshares to interact on turn 1 if necessary. Misty Rainforest. Okay. This is a good Swords to Plowshares hand. Ooh, it got even better. Alright, now I'm going to disrespect Daze. Just cast this, set them back a land if they want a Daze. Having the second one gives me a lot of agency, and this is a tap-out deck. Wow, Force Pitching Force. Hymn to Turok resolves. This is a tap-out deck. Like, Daze is going to get the Dark Confidant. Daze is going to get the Hidetsugu Consumes All. Like, I'm just going to ram my spells onto this deck. A hyper-aggressive Brainstorm from the opponent to flip Delver. What Year of Legacy do they think we're playing right now? Because flip Delver on turn 1. Like, spew off a Brainstorm to flip Delver. Force Pitching Force. Like, they must be all in on multiple counterspells here, and, like, no threats. Relentless. I was just going to say I'm a little worried if I cast this Plow and then they follow up with Murktide Regent, but drawing the third Plow. Get wrecked. Brainstorm, okay. They spent 2.5 cards keeping that Delver in play to attack me for 3 one time. Now, where's this game going from here? Do need some more lands, but Dark Confidant is pretty good. Go ahead. Bolt it. I'm here to trade off 1-for-1. Yep. They are cracking a fetch land and doing what? Expressive Iteration. I don't think my opponent's ever cast Expressive Iteration before. Honestly, the way they've played this whole deck, like, I'm not trying to be a jerk to my opponent, but the way they've played this whole game, like forcing to protect the turn 1 Delver, land Expressive Iteration, like, you don't need to play around Daze from a Mardu deck. I don't know. Some weird decisions going on over there. I can't fetch basic planes here, and that's okay. I'm going to get Plateau, because Urborg's in play anyway. I am pretty soft to Wasteland right now. Do I want Kaldra, Batterskull, or Lion Sash? I think I want Batterskull. Like, I just want... If Stoneforge Mystic dies here, I got a 2-for-1 out of it. If it doesn't die, I want a real creature. Okay. I think the only, like, super conceivable way I lose this game is they Wasteland me and I don't recover, or they have Murktide Regent with Force backup. Mystic Sanctuary. Wow, what a weird deck. What are they going to buy back? It's got to be Expressive Iteration, right? Okay. Just checking. And Delver. Delver can get bolted. I'm going to try to hold on to this Plow. Oh, is that better? Yeah, that's better. Himyu. Let's just get them empty over there. Bolting me in response. You got it. They lose a third Expressive Iteration. Yeah, like, I'm worried about Wasteland right now. Beginning and end of list. Wasteland. You have a lot of lands in this deck, but no cantrips to find them, so it's a little unfortunate. Exiled Murktide Regent. I am ready for that one. Murky Rage in play. Land? Not a land, but it does answer Delver. I didn't specifically need another answer to Delver. I needed a land. Oh god, please land. Land for the consume. Wiping this board is a big game. They did not show. Fuck, they found Wasteland. Yeah, I mean, they did cast 3 expressive iterations this game, and that's why we're gonna lose. 2 Wastelands, 3 expressive iterations. All right, we're dead. Look at this hand just rolled up with all the answers to Delver, just couldn't cast them. That is an issue. A noted issue. I want my Pyroblasts in, and I think that's the only change I'm making. There might be some room for Plague Engineer. Probably not, but I'm gonna take a look. Sudden Edict is good. I don't really want a Thoughtseize Delver. That hurts my life total in a way that is not really important to me. I can control their board. Like, we saw that game where I just had a handful of answers to their board. I just need my mana set up under me. I'm not going to bring in Blood Moon because my mana is more important than theirs is. I think I do like Hymn to Turok. Umezawa's Jite's kind of medium. It is. It will dominate an empty board. It's another... Like, the effect is undeniable. Is it better than Plague Engineer? I think so. Better than Inquisition of Kodalak? I also think so. Alright, I'm doing this. Okay, this hand is keepable. Only 2 lands again, but it does a lot with those 2 lands. We do play 3 basics if we have room to fetch them. Unfortunately, I can't get basic plains with this current configuration. I can get basic swamp if I want to give up on Swords to Plowshares. If they play a creature here, I'm just gonna snap off the plow and then untap and him. And that means I have to get Scrubland, which I am okay with. Allow this. Yep, Daze, you got it. That clears the way for him, which might even take the land that they may or may not need. What the fuck? There's just Surgical Extracting Swords to Plowshares. At least wait for my draw step. Oh no, you can't wait for my draw step because I'm holding up white. Yeah, this is one of the least well-played Delver games I've seen in a long time. Between the aggro Surgicaling and the aggro Force, aggro Brainstorm, they're just being really aggro with all their cards. And currently being propped up by the raw power of Expressive Iteration and Wasteland, which are still problems. Don't get me wrong. Like, we are still in that space. Maybe Turok's getting 2 cards one way or the other. They can force, or they can just discard Volcanic Island and Island. I hope those were all the lands in their hand. Attack, go, please. Oh, yeah. Hymn to Turok takes all your lands. That's what I'm looking for. I think I want to get Dark Confidant down. I'll take the hit. But getting cheesed out by Wasteland is how I lose this game from here, and Bob will help me dig out of that. Confidant trigger. Let's just not flip the Cauldron. Flip Queen Marchesa. Get wrecked me. Let's consume. This kills the Dragon's Rage Channeler. Next turn, it'll take Murktide Region off the table. I can kill my own Bob if my life total gets low. Alright, how about a land, Robert? Yeah. Flipped Wasteland, exile all graveyards, Murktide Regent's gone. Here's my Wasteland. I could Marchesa, or I could start getting counters on Jute. I'm gonna Marchesa. That's worth a Force of Will. I would agree with that assessment. That's also good because I want to gain life off Jute. I think losing to my own Bob is the way I can lose this game still. Oh, just conceded. Don't even want to see the next card from Bob. Don't want that information. You got it. We did see Brazen Borrower this game. Maybe I don't want Cauldron in the deck. Like, it's... Stoneforge Mystic is not going to stick. Batterskull will stabilize as, like, a creature. Like, if Stoneforge Mystic needs to get a creature, it can be Batterskull. And Cauldron is uncastable and dangerous with Bob. And Mystic's never going to be in play. Yeah, maybe I just want to hedge off of Cauldron. Do I want Inquisition or Plague Engineer in the deck? Probably Inquisition. On the draw, just having another 1-mana interactive spell is nice. Yeah, Hidetsugu Consumes All is doing the job that I would hope Plague Engineer does, but Consume does it more reliably. Yeah, let's go. Well, can't keep this one. Mulligan the colorless mana hand. This one's good. And I'm gonna send it's one of the planeswalkers. I think it's Liliana, because I'm on the mulligan. Yeah, I can't really afford to plus Liliana. And Kaya gains life. I like that. This is a game I can fetch basic planes, and I think that is more important than casting him on turn 2. Ooh. This deck is asking a lot of its mana. There's no denying that. I am going to get my basic planes, though, and cast Prismatic Ending. Save Plow for the Murktide. Another aggressive little daze. Ponder, okay. I would love to draw a land, as usual. Just hungry for lands here. They did not shuffle their Ponder. That's a good land. That lets me Lightning Bolt this turn. Yeah, I'm going to get a Badlands. I can expose myself to Wasteland a little bit here to remove this card from play without losing my Plow on Murktide Regent. If they Wasteland, then they're not pulling ahead this turn. Sure. If I just keep drawing lands, I'm good. Lands. Urborg would be a great draw here. Wazawa's Jite. All right, I'm going to play that. They want to counter it. That's cool. I have much more powerful spells in my hand. Like, there's nothing to even hold this Jite. That is not a priority right now. A pair of DRCs. They did not play a land. What does that mean? That means I'm going to Hymn to Taraku and then cast Swords to Plowshares. They lost a Daze and a Lightning Bolt. And I'll plow the other one of these. If their last card in hand is Murktide Regent and they draw the land, then I'm in trouble, but otherwise, we're in really good shape right now. For 3, another creature. Did not want another creature there. Okay, not a big deal. I'm going to pass the turn, see if Delver flips, and then make some decisions. Delver flipped, revealing Ponder. I'm going to exile Dragon's Rage Channeler. I would really like Kaya to be in play. There's the land. That casts the Murktide Regent in their hand that I suspect they have. Inquisition. That's not going to help me here. Kaya, let's go. Exile Delver. All right, is it Murktide? Is that the last card in your hand? All right, Surgical Extracting my Plows. That might be making the way for Murktide, or it might just be like a random... I drew my spell, so I'm going to cast it. Moment of truth right now. Jesus. All right. You got it, homie. Sudden Edict. Stoneforge Mystic, not bad. Kaya does get to gain me some life. Exile Dragon's Rage Channeler and Wasteland. And then Stoneforge Mystic. Let's go get Batterskull. This is all too late, I think. I need the Sudden Edict. Put me to 2. Yeah, that Surgical was pretty good. And a Delver. Come on, Sudden Edict. I believe I am just dead here. Yep. My opponent played this game extremely poorly. The whole match, nothing they did really made sense, but we are dead anyway. Can I gain 7 life? I can gain 4, and there are not 2 creatures in the graveyard. So there's not a creature in the graveyard. So no. Batterskull doesn't have haste. Okay, GG, I suppose. That's the power of Murktide Regent. We do have answers to Murktide in the deck. We didn't have red mana, so we were drawing dead to red blast there, but okay. That's magic sometimes. On the draw for round 2. I can't keep this 2 Wasteland hand. Here we go. I'm going to keep this one and send Kaldra to the bottom. This hand does need some help. Like, I've played decks like this in the past where I'm always like, this deck needs more lands, and I felt like 23 was a lot, but maybe it needs even more. Okay, do I want to play to him and play around Wasteland, or do I want to play to Stoneforge Mystic and not play around Wasteland? I'm going to play to him. If I draw a black source, him is good. I could also just Stoneforge and hope for the best here. It is elves. Okay. This is a matchup where I wish I had Swords to Plowshares. This draw step will inform a lot. If I draw Plow, I'll probably exile Symbiote and Wasteland them. If I draw Black Source, I'll... Hemming them's not even good here. Okay, I did draw Plow. Right on time. Plow the Symbiote. Waste the Cradle. They picked up Visionary. Waste the Cradle. Okay. That might have given me the breathing room I needed, but this is going to be tough. Getting Jitte active, Hidetsugu Consumes All are my two things in the main deck I can do against elves, and I do have some Plague Engineers on the board. Right, they're passing the turn to spin up another Cradle with Reclaimer. Yeah, the problem with Umezawa's Jitte these days is that I don't even know if it's the right card to get here. It probably just is, but I need to draw a land, get Kaya into play, and start exiling elves. Is 23 somehow not enough lands? Is that where we are right now? Heritage Druid into Visionary. They got options. Any land casts Kaya, a black land casts him. A red source gives me Lightning Bolt plus put Jitte into play. Or they could just natural order right now. Put me in the dust. Oh wow, natural order for Grist. That is a defensive posture that I'm a little surprised by. Land. Yes! Okay. We're in business, folks. I'm gonna get the Badlands, because that casts both him and Lightning Bolt. And Kaya, exile this elf. I guess if they get Archon and name Instant, I don't know, I feel like they might have been playing a little scared of Jitte, that they don't need to be, because they were 2 turns ahead of it. Like, Hoof's not lethal there. Maybe they don't have an Archon. They're a Hoof exclusive deck. Once upon a time. They're rebuilding pretty quickly. That is how Planeswalkers work. Wirewood Symbiote is powerful. Okay. Another red source would be huge here. Yeah, okay. Kaya, exile, Symbiote. Then they can pick up Visionary in response. And then I can him to Turok. Him. They lost Green Sun Zenith, so their 1 card in hand is Elvish Visionary. That's a good card to have left over when the dust settles. And Badlands. I have enough white. I just want to make sure I have black. I'm going to bolt Grist before it can gain more advantage. And then Marchesa can come down next turn. They do have enough creatures to challenge me on the Monarchy. But Marchesa can come down. If I just don't attack, I have a 3/3 blocker. I draw a card. Elves is pretty relentless against fair decks because of Visionary, etc. But I feel like this is all borrowed time, given their start and how awkward the opening hand lined up against it. All this is just extra. But they have so many creatures. Well, there's only one play here, and it's the Queen. I will become the Monarch, and not going to attack. If they want to take the Monarchy, they're going to have to charge a creature into Marchesa. Hope they don't have natural order right now. Glimpse with 1 card left in hand. All right, how about just draw a land? No natural order, no creature. We don't need to keep going here. Party's almost over. Just firing 2 creatures in. I'm going to block Dryad Arbor because Hidetsugu Consumes All doesn't kill that. They get to be the Monarch, which means I get they draw a card, but then I get a Death Touch Assassin. But Consume kills that also. I could jam Consume, which kills everything except Visionary, and then they have to block Marchesa. If I attack with Marchesa and Assassin, yeah, I think I just have to let them be the Monarch for a turn. So let's Consume and attack with Marchesa. They can chump block and go to no creatures in play to keep the Monarch, or they can just trade the Monarch back and forth with me. Floated 4 mana. What are they going to do with that? Do they have Once Upon a Time? What instants are in this deck? Oh, Endurance is in this deck. That's a good one. Obaseju. I'll take that. That lets me cast Jitte this turn. Grab Scrubland with that. And move into combat. I can't equip Jitte right now, so there's no reason to play it into their open mana. Right, they do want to bounce the Monarch back and forth. I'm not going to play Jute. Any instant speed removal I draw here ends the game. Like so. And I'm just going to hit it now before they untap and get to use it. Okay. Okay. I'm feeling ahead for the first time here. Because I am now the Monarch. They can't take the Monarchy this turn. Jute is connecting next turn. Okay, Jute is no longer connecting. Liliana of the Veil can still crack this open, though. Oh, never mind. Jute is connecting. Sorry, Liliana. Maybe next time. Yeah, that's just good, clean living. Connecting with Jute against elves like it's 2015. There were some interesting choices that game, like what to do with on turn 2. And I chose to constrict their options, and then not casting Jute gave me Swords to Plowshares, how to use the removal, like picking off Grist, what they actually natural ordered for to get Grist into play. There were a lot of interesting decisions there that I wish I could see their hand. Plague Engineer comes in, that's easy. I like all of the removal and interaction. Lion Sash doesn't do a lot in this matchup. Doesn't do more than Cauldra. Caldra's Trample can win a game, but I'm the control deck here. I'm not really trying to win the game. I'm just trying not to lose it. I will cut the 7-drop in that environment, and Lion Sash doesn't actually do anything in this matchup. It can be like a sizable creature on a stable board, but it doesn't. They don't really use their graveyard. You could argue Blood Moon in the matchup, but I don't. I think I have enough creature removal that I don't need to mess with their lands. I'm just gonna try to make sure nothing ever sticks. This hand is good. I'm keeping this. Just fucking 2 lands and 5 interactive spells. That's what I'm into for the elf matchup. Just keep their material off the board. Try not to ever let them get ahead on anything. Zenith is rough here because Prismatic Ending doesn't line up with it, but Inquisition does. Yeah, the second Black Source. Now I get to Inquisition into him. Why wasn't this Once Upon a Time cast? That's weird. I am confused by that. Like, it was in their hand. Nothing changed. They didn't draw cards. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop asking questions and just take their Green Sun Zenith. There's that Once Upon a Time. Found Beseiju. I have enough lands in my deck. I don't really care about Beseiju. Yeah, that's the smart play. Just playing it as a land is probably the right call. That plays around Wasteland with the Black Source. Do I even want to hymn them? Probably. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go. They played out their powerful answer in order to protect their Black Source. Let me just hit the Black Source. All right, we got an Elvish Reclaimer. Oh, they were sandbagging that to draw a card off Glimpse of Nature next turn. Try to get something going. They can just jam Natural Order right now. Yeah, they could have gone land Natural Order. Did they not have a Progenitus? Or did they not think it's good enough? Virtual Ranger. Their hand is land Natural Order right now. Jeez. That was a really good run of cards. Wait, what did I lose track of? Is this Windswept Teeth not in their hand? Oh, that's why they didn't cast Once Upon a Time. I lost track of stuff. They did Once Upon a Time. They hit Windswept Heath. So their hand is Natural Order and Virtual Ranger. Okay, yeah, I lost track of stuff. That's why they... Alright, I take it back, opponent. Sorry for my sass. I just missed an entire interaction there. I'm going to exile Wirewood Symbiote and cast Stoneforge Mystic. They can Natural Order here, but it's not good enough. Batterskull or Jite? I could force the Natural Order. I think I want the Batterskull, though. Because if they do have a Progenitus in the deck and they just slam on it right now, then I'm drawing to one of my Edict effects, and gaining life is what I need to be doing. Yep. Like... Alright, I gotta figure out how to kill this Dryad Arbor first. Exile target, non-land permanent. Is a land. Yikes. I am so close here. And yet so far. Okay. Getting Kaya into play might trick them into attacking the wrong thing. Kaya also gains life. I am going to Kaya instead of Batterskull here. Exile Dryad Arbor, which is a creature. I'm going to leave some creatures in there because I want to gain life every turn off of this. And now I need a removal spell that can target Dryad Arbor. I have multiple removal spells that can target other things. I can kill that. Once Upon a Time. Right, Gaia's Cradle. God. Well, I can kill all of the things that are not Dryad Arbor. Guess if Progenitus attacks Kaya, that would be kind of crazy to give me a whole extra turn to interact. Alright, I guess it is interaction though. Alright. Okay. Game is heating up. That kills Dryad Arbor. Alright, Prismatic Ending, Wirewood Symbiote. And then fetch for Badlands. Plague Engineer on Dryad. Okay. They're going to attack me to 11. And then I put in Batterskull. Then they can attack me to 1. Go back up to 5. Yeah, I need to find removal. I'm going to attack with Plague Engineer, see if they want to take this trade. It would be crazy if they did, though. Oh, this is so close. This is a heater. Played another land from their hand. Here comes Progenitus. Yeah, I just need like one of my millions of removal spells in my deck right now. I would even take the Angrass Rampage. Batterskull gains me life, so Liliana's live. I've got so many draws right now. Let's just hit one of them. I guess I have to hope they mess up here. There's no reason to block at all. And I got nothing. Just dead to Progenitus. I have the card in my hand. I'm just a little too slow. One spell short of this game being a winner. And I'm not going to show them the Sudden Edict. I don't want that on their radar. Oh, can't block. You got me. That was a tight game. They may never know how tight it was. Literally came down to all of my removal being non-land permanents instead of creatures. Okay, sweet game. Don't think anything changes here. These are still the cards that I have that are playable in the matchup. In we go. Thoughtseize Bob. Oh, Consume is a big one. I'm going to keep this. It needs a land and it needs Thoughtseize to be good, which might be two big asks, but I am going to Thoughtseize off of Urborg to start the game off. Zenith Shepherd. All right, I'm going to take one of the Zeniths, I guess. Shepherd gets swept up by Consume. Looks they have 2 Zenith. I was really trying to leave them with just 1 drops left to play. We'll let on Shepherd instead of Zenith. Okay. Wasteland. That casts Consume next turn. That's good. And I can even tap Marsh Flats for black. Don't have to commit to a fetch. Just maximize the number of lands in my deck for the Bob flip. Now there's Zenithing for 0. Okay. I hope that means they drew another 1-drop. Or are they just playing around everything? Playing around everything is smart. I'm to Tarok and a Wasteland. I think I need to Consume. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they can still Natural Order next turn, even if I Consume. I think I need to him and just hope to hit the Natty. Or the land for Natty. Yeah, Consume is still good next turn. That might not be true about him. Natural Order in the graveyard. Fuck yeah. With another Zenith as well. Oh, right. I can Wasteland Dryad Arbor also. Almost blinked on that one. That's what I'm looking for. I didn't want to offer the trade with Bob because I'm killing that creature next turn anyway. Symbiote. Okay. That goes into the Consume. If they attack, I'll trade with Dryad Arbor. I won't trade with Shepherd. It'll land. Love to see it. Black, red. Consume. Yeah, they pick up their Shepherd. They lose the Symbiote. Sweep up. Symbiote. Besageing. Okay. God, I love when they keep doing that. Like, the important part already happened. I don't really need the creature or to exile their graveyards. I just need their board affected. And now I know their only card in hand is Shepherd, so I'm going to attack. Like, they don't really care about a 3/3 creature or a Tormod script. I would have held on to that Besageyu for something like Umazawa's Jite. Alright, let's see how much of their hand they can dump out this turn. Glimpse off the top's pretty good. Didn't play the card out. Whatever their last card is. Okay. I'm going to Wasteland the Arbor, plow the Shepherd. Kind of relentless beating here, and him to Turok for good measure. Hit the Crater Hoof. All right, now we're controlling. And Batterskull's already in my hand. That's the most expensive card. There's 2 4s and a 5 in my deck right now, and 2 of those 3 cards are in my hand. Consume. Ready for the next round, and Marchesa. Yeah, we're just becoming the Monarch. Driving it home here. I'm feeling pretty good. They're on a 2-turn clock. Even if I flip the 2 most expensive cards in my deck, I can't lose to Bob. GG's opponent. That was a sweet one. There were a lot of decisions on both sides. On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. On the draw in round 3, I have an interactive hand here. Interactive with creatures anyway. Let's hope they're not a combo deck. Bloated Delta, bad sign. Basic Swamp. Does it get any worse than this? Fair decks don't play Basic Swamp Thoughtseize. JK, maybe it's the mirror match. There's one that does this. I expect to see Consume hit the graveyard. Oh, they took Swords to Plowshares. Okay. All right, I'm a little surprised by that. Don't know what's going on right now, but I'm glad I drew a redundant copy of effectively Swords to Plowshares here. Like, I'm just running down the list of black Thoughtseize decks that care about Swords to Plowshares. This is probably Depths, but I got a Fistful of Wastelands. Oh, maybe it's Reanimator. Never mind. Take it all back. Definitely Reanimator. Yep, there's an Archon of Cruelty. Swords to Plowshares was certainly the take. Oh, they don't have an answer. Or they don't have an enabler. What can I do right now? Not draw another one of those. I think all I can do is Wasteland. Like, if they didn't have a 1-mana Reanimate spell this turn, maybe taking them off mana is my best plan in this game. They found one. Dark Ritual. Oh god. They found 2. Oh, flashing back looting. Wow. Their hand sucks. Please continue sucking. That's all I ask. My humble request. Continue bricking. For as long as it takes. I discarded a 3rd Archon and an Entomb. Archon at least dies to Plow or Sudden Edict, where a lot of these options don't. Hey, get wrecked, Sudden Edict. What's up? Wasteland you again. They had a mana floating and they didn't spend it last turn. They're out of red mana now. Moment of Truth. Ah, grief, come on. Good grief. Alright, if their last card in hand is a Reanimate spell and they just clipped my Sudden Edict, then they managed to navigate these murky waters. But if they're just past the turn right now, life is good. Of course. Of course. Oh, Prismatic Ending kills that. That's pretty lucky, actually. I'm going to discard the extra Prismatic Ending, or Bolt's probably worse than Ending. Whoops. Well, I'll get a Scrubland, exile Animate Dead, and hope they don't have another Animate Dead, because I should have discarded Bolt. 1000%. Big zoom. Shit. Alright. This time, I don't need 2 Consumes. What can I do here? I can play the other Consume and hope to draw Swords to Plowshares. That's basically like the whole plan right now. Alright, I'll play the other Consume. I take 9 and discard my hand here. This was actually like weirdly close considering I have no meaningful interaction in game 1 and I was on the draw and they Thoughtseized me on turn 1. All of those things did happen. I'm dead to any Reanimate spell though. The second Archon just drains for 3. Yeah, I need them to have nothing, nuke the graveyards, and draw Swords to Plowshares right now. No, Reanimate. You did it. Okay. Fine. Fine. Good job, Reanimator player. You defeated a non-blue player on the play in game 1. Barely. Surgicals come in. I don't have a whole lot for the matchup. I just need to survive like turn 0 to get my Thoughtseizes and that interaction online. I don't love Lightning Bolt, and I don't love Prismatic Ending. Ending can hit Animate Dead like we saw there, but I don't think that's actually extremely relevant. I could bring in Deafening Silence to just try to slow them down. That might be better than Prismatic Ending. I don't really want to slow myself down, but I'm not really double spelling any of these matchups anyway. Umezawa's Jitte is not a card I want. Yeah, I'll bring in the Silences and just try to pile up on limiting their options until they have to play fair with me. This is a mulligan because of the Wasteland. This is... I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep and put Marchesa on the bottom. Yeah, so the game plan here is Thoughtseize you, and then either Deafening Silence or Stoneforge Mystic, depending on what follows. And I think I want to fetch Scrubland here rather than play out Urborg, because Scrubland gives me the option of Stoneforge Mystic or Desilence Wasteland next turn, where just playing Urborg doesn't let me Wasteland. Keep the hand, send Marchesa. Opponent's on 7. This does take me off red, but like red is like, other than consume, I'm not doing a lot with red mana in this matchup. See what we got here. Archon of Cruelty, Entomb, multiple unmasked Dark Ritual. What? This is a keep on 7? What are you doing? This hand does not look good to me. I guess I will take the Entomb. Well, they did play around Thoughtseize extremely well by having a bad hand. This hand is actually pretty solid if they can get a creature into the graveyard. Or if they can unmask themselves, but if they have a reanimate spell. Alright, they unmasked me pitching their Archon. Weird. Don't get it. I don't understand the plan. Unmask pitching Dark Ritual. Okay. Okay. We're functionally both hellbent here. I'm going to play my Wasteland. Rampage is good. Obviously, I drew a red card right after deciding not to fetch red mana. Okay. They're now hellbent. They top-decked Entomb. Now I need to find an answer before they find a reanimate spell. Okay! Whee! Alright, I get Stoneforge Mystic, though. We're not ice cold, just mostly cold. Oh, there's Lion Sash. Thanks for showing up. Cauldra doesn't race. Batterskull doesn't race. I guess I'll get Lion Sash on the hope that I can answer this Grizzlebrand. I'm unlikely to have cards in my hand going into my turn. Between the Unmasks and the Griefs, they draw 14 and then rip me apart. There is a Caracas in the deck. Unmask, sure. Yep. On the first 7. Didn't even have to go all the way down. Taking Rampage here cuts off many of my outs. I was drawing live to any red source. Now I'm drawing live to specifically Swords of Plowshares or Caracas. Wow, they think Lion Sash more important. Or they just have 2 discard spells. This Grizzlebrand can come back pretty easily if Lion Sash isn't around. Probably what they're playing towards here. They could also reanimate my Lion Sash creature. If they cast another Exhume, I get a Lion Sash. But at that point, there's 2 monsters in play and it doesn't matter. Archetype of Endurance, okay. They can't reanimate here because they die. Dark Ritual works. Another one. Oh god. You're just casting an Archon. Casting Grief. Evoking Grief. Okay. This loses my Rampage. Reanimating my Lion Sash. Alright, yep, you go to 2. Or you take 2 to 4. And now they can Exhume safely, get Archetype into play. And now I can't Caracas or Swords to Plowshares. Oh my god. Alright, yeah. We had a one draw step window where we needed them to not rip a reanimate spell, but they simply did instead of not doing that. And I don't know what the math is on that. I'm not complaining about how lucky they got. Obviously they played to their outs. They drew a redundant Entomb after I took an Entomb, and they just put themselves in a position to win if they top-decked a reanimate spell, which they did. And once Grizzlebrand's in play, the rest of it is just LOL whatever. Yeah, I kept a hand with 2 disruptive spells and a real threat, and Stoneforge Mystic tutors up Lion Sash, which is an additional disruption spell if I feel like I need it. I think that hand was good. It just did not work out. Okay, on to the next round. On the play for round 4, and we're on the play with an Inquisition. I'm going to keep this. The basic plains is a little awkward. I don't actually want that here, but I am going to Badlands Inquisition right now. Just get all my colors set up. I recognize the name Lord Beerus. I'm not sure why. I'm getting combo energy. I don't know if that's accurate, but we're about to find out. Nope. Not even a little. Just full Delver tryhard. And the DRC is super dead. I guess it's, do I want to clip the Brainstorm or the Iteration? And Brainstorm can change more things about their hand. Like, if I leave them with Iteration, then they have to keep these 3 lands in Force of Will, even if they don't want them. But they do get 2 cards off the Iteration eventually. If I take Brainstorm, I think I'm actually taking Brainstorm. Kind of weird to navigate like 2-for-1, like raw card advantage versus card quality here, but the quality of their hand is honestly kind of bad against what I'm doing. Like, you can't Expressive Iteration for max value until like turn 3. Oh, that was a good draw. Let's see if they want to lose their Iteration to cast Force of Will and just hope they didn't draw Daze. We're in there. And I think I just want Kaldra and bet. I'm just going to try to go coast to coast with Kaldra here. If they drew Lightning Bolt, that's bad for me. Chain Lightning. Okay, yeah, samesies. They surveilled before fetching, so if they want this card, and they did keep it on top, if they want it, then they can't crack their fetch land. I'm not sure if that actually means anything, but it is somewhat noteworthy. I would like to keep drawing lands, though. Thank you, deck. Prismatic Ending. Zap that. And I'm just going to keep applying pressure. I'm going to get a scrub land here. I have to get a white source because I'm casting Lion Sash. Having 2 white sources and black is the most important color. Yeah, I need white now, and I want access to double black. Sucks I have a red card in my hand, and my red is wide open to Wasteland, but I don't have a good way to play around that right now. Lion Sash is in there. Yeah, I'm just like ramming spells onto the stack, trying to get this Force of Will popped while it's still good. Moment of truth. We've gotten to the Expressive Iteration. Let's see if my choice on turn 1 is going to bite us. Because even if they find a land here to play, I guess they could just get 2 1s because the Scalding Tarn's already in their hand. Yeah. Best I could hope for is an awkward Expressive Iteration. They exiled Delver, played their land. Okay. Delver I can answer. Nice. There's that card. Ooh, him to Turok. I think I want to... This is kind of tricky, actually. I think I want to Rampage. Target player sacrifices a creature. Red, black. They still have Swords to Plowshares if they follow up with Murktide Regent, and I can start crunching with Lion Sash in the meantime. Exile that Delver. And I think growing my Lion Sash is more important than shrinking their Murktide. If I could get a 4/4, then they just can't kill it anymore. Ooh, EI into EI. This is rough. The Force of Will is still looming. The him can check it at some point. Right. They just exiled Murktide Regent. Murktide's happening this turn. We know there's Force of Will in hand. I'm going to check the hand with the him, hope to see the Force hit the graveyard, and then try the plow. Him to Turok. Show me that Force of Will. 2 Ponders hit the graveyard. Do I think their last card in hand is blue? And if so, is there anything I can do about it? All right. Towards the Plowshares. Just don't be Daze. Oh! Son of a bitch. All right. That sucks. Yeah, now they... Yeah, not even getting through the Force Wall there is just a complete nightmare. Oh, and they top decked another Murktide Regent. The way they're tapping their mana, that's what this has to be, right? Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with discard spells, is you can't hit the top of the deck. And now I'm dead even if I draw the answer. Cool. Well, there's that. They had the worst possible card in their hand, which is Daze, into the worst possible top deck, which is second Murktide. Okie dokie, artichokes. Bring in these Pyroblasts. Kaldra is actively kind of shitty. What did I cut last time? Thoughtseize. It was just Thoughtseizes and Kaldra for the 3 Rebs, or what I did last time. I think that still makes sense. We determined I like Consume better than Plague Engineer. GT is a little bit of a mess, but I don't have a card I'd rather board in. Okay, here we go. I'm on the play with a 4-lander that doesn't cast the Hymn to Turok in my hand. Kaya is a good card. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to have a little bit of faith in my deck to deliver one of the millions of removal spells in the deck. Because I'm usually just like, come on, land, and this one already has 3 of them. And I can go basic swamp, basic plains if I need to. I got options. They targeted themselves with Bobble, which means they have 2 lands in their hand, a fetch land and a non-fetch land. You only target yourself if you can then control the card. Dope. Okay, I am going to fetch for Badlands. Or is it Scrubland? Oh no, it's Badlands. I just don't have red yet. Get to work here. If they daze it, they're back a land on the draw, or they're just Wasteland Lightning Bolt in the graveyard. Pretty happy with that too. It also might indicate they don't have daze, or they might have just let me feed their turn 2 Murktide Regent. Not interested in that version of events. Yeah, they are fetching pretty quick, and they do have the material to make Murktide Regent right now. Fucked up. Alright, deck. I have something like 11 or 12 outs to this thing. 13. Can I have one? It's only a 4/4. I at least can make that. I'm going to grab Batterskull, and I can at least offer a race against this thing at 4/4. And my Hymn did clear a Lightning Bolt in for 4. It's unfortunate that the only target for Wasteland is also my only red source. Like, there's not even a choice for them to make of what color do I want to take them off. Plenty of lands over there. Okay, we're in business. I'm going to plow the Murktide first, and then see what happens with Kaya. I could also play around Daze by casting Lion Sash here. But then they'll be able to Daze Batterskull eventually. Like, I could just slam Batterskull next turn, and if Kaya resolves here, I'm just uber stable. I see how we're in there. Exile Delver. Okay. Like I said, there's a lot of answers to Murktide Regent in this deck. Just have to have them when it matters. Fetch to Steam Vents in the end step. You down with DRC. Exile that with Kaya. Easy money. Milled Ponder. So they're looking for like land Lightning Bolt between the EI cards and their hand right now. They found the land. Do not appear to have found the Lightning Bolt. Exile another creature. And anytime Kaya goes 2 for 1, just feels so fucked up. I'm going to play Lion Sash and start pressuring the next Murktide Regent. I'm going to cast Dark Confidant. I'm playing around Daze here, wherever I can. And exile. I'm going to go after the Expressive iteration. I think shrinking Murktide is more important than growing Lion Sash right now. Bouncing Bob, sure. Yeah, scared of that card advantage. Live in fear. Hymn to Turok. I could rip the last card out of their hand. I could just deploy Batterskull. I could... Well, emptying their graveyard's going to happen anyway. I can't Hymn and Bob, unfortunately, which are the 2 things that I want to be doing. Can just jam B-Skull and hope we race. I'm going to do that. Let's go. Hardcast Daze. That's like unfortunate, but it's not the worst thing. Because I was worried about this Brazen Borrower coming down and killing Kaya this turn, which that play forced them off of. If they just bounce a land with Daze and cast their Brazen Bee. And I think we got a little shame concession there. They realized what they did. Cool. Brazen Borrower's in the mix. Good to know. Extra glad Cauldron's not in the deck now. I don't have any Flicker Wisp or Yorion or any way to reset a Cauldron other than tap 7 mana, which is just not going to happen. Yeah, I think this is just the best configuration of the deck here. Okay, the almost mono red hand. I'm going to keep this. Soft to Wasteland, but what the fuck else is new? Channeler. I could go for a Wasteland, just cheese Wasteland, hope it's good, but I think I'd rather pick off this Channeler. There is no basic mountain, but this is a good window for my Lightning Bolt. Well, I don't mind a Daze here, because I am also a mana denial deck. I do kind of mind Days Wasteland, but even that, I have basic plains, plow, or if I draw another red source, I'm just right back in business. That's not something I'm worried about. Okay, and now I get to Wasteland Lightning Bolt, which means they can't daze me. Wasteland Lightning Bolt. Force of Will's a little scary. Okay. Force Pitching Court of Cunning. Yeah, they are all in here. They are not delirious. Please don't have Wasteland. Oh, they have nothing. Just in for 2. Okay, Prismatic Ending this turn. Towards the Plowshares next turn. And all this is on basics. I'm not even that worried about Wasteland anymore. Shit. Really didn't want them to draw a land. That's cheating. I'm over here just trying to cornball you out of the game, fair and square, and you're casting spells. They did not shuffle. They are now delirious. I'm at 13. There's not a basic land in the deck that Arid Mesa can get, so I'll just run the Caracas out there. I'm gonna plow DRC. I can Pyroblast a Force of Will if they have one, and then stick this Bob. And I can Pyroblast Murktide Region if they have it. And if they go land Murktide this turn, it means they're not answering Bob. And if they're answering Bob, it means they're not land Murktide. Okay, they found a Wasteland. I do have Arid Mesa to replace my red and black source. Like a threat. Okay. That is eventually a threat, kinda. Starting to get a little worried. I need an engine of some sort in play before they get set up. Can't cast that one. Brainstorm. I'm not at the Pyroblast of Brainstorm stage of the game. Maybe if I was ahead on board a little bit, but when just dead to Murktide Regent, I'm not going to use my answer to that card on something different. Expressive Iteration is a card I am most worried about right now, and they have all 4 of them in their deck still. They've seen a third of their deck and play 4 copies of it. They're likely to have one at this point. Delver, okay. That will be a problem eventually if I don't find some more answers. Okay. Please don't Wasteland me. Kinda have to commit here. Fortunately, Bob's only a legend in our hearts, so I can't protect it with Caracas. Extremely exposed to Wasteland right now. And the way this league has gone, their hand is going to be Wasteland Murktide Regent. Guaranteed. Delver Trigger. Brainstorm. Okay. That is more options. It's not the Lightning Bolt I was worried about. Or the Expressive Iteration I was even more worried about. Here's the B-Storm. My life total is about to be 9, and then like Bob flips start happening. I would like to draw some extra cards and pull ahead here, but at the same time, life total is becoming a problem. If I flip like Marchesa or some bullshit, like an uncastable 4-drop is just a nightmare. Brainstorm put me to 9 and pass the turn. Bob, let's go. Help me out here. Give me a land. Yeah. Okay, that is a land that casts him to Turok. Or do I need to answer Delver first? Going to 6 is kind of rough, but whatever. Here's him to Turok. Go to 2 Dazes. Great. Whatever that third card in their hand was definitely the best one. So Batterskull is a card. I'm almost at 5 mana. Played out their land. Hopefully they're just like shields downing to him to Turok. Alright, Bob, be gentle. Oof, Liliana. Swords to Plowshares. I'm gonna play my land. Can I fetch to 2? I can plow my Bob if there's an emergency. Right, yeah. Fetch for another Badlands to keep the red mana up. Liliana with Pyroblast Plow back up. You sack a creature. They're fetching in response. What is this? Oh, very clever. Okay, that resolves. Now sack a creature. Now Pyroblast your Delver. I'm going to attack for 2 and then plow Bob immediately. I just don't want to lose this game to my Bob and don't want to lose this game to an Errant Lightning Bolt. They're currently hellbent. Need them to miss on this draw step. Okay, Delver is okay. Him is whatever. Just don't flip Delver revealing Lightning Bolt. How about that? Moment of truth. Right now, this is it. This is the moment. Delver didn't flip. Court of Cunning. Okay, so they get to be the Monarch briefly. I can minus Liliana, kill Delver, become the Monarch. Or that's even better, holy shit. Yeah, Sudden Edict you. And then I can plus Liliana, clear that card in their hand, and then also become the Monarch. There we go. Red guy ale business. This deck does have an outrageous amount of removal. Maybe the spread of Prismatic Endings is wrong, or Lightning Bolts are wrong. We could probably redistribute this removal suite to make sure that more things hit Murktide Regent. That does seem to be a theme of what we're losing to. On to the final round. I'm on the draw in round 5, playing for that sweet 3-2 treasure chest. Urborg is the one land I would consider keeping this hand on. Like, I get 2 draw steps to Inquisition into him. I'm going to try it. I'm likely going to regret it. I've been struggling with lands this whole league, but let's go. Please don't be a wasteland deck. Urza Saga. That's a tough one. They bobbled me, revealing Bob. Well, there's that Swords to Plowshares. Not excited about that. Inquisition, show me something good here. Oh, 2 copies of the same card. Exactly what I wanted. Oh, Kappa Cannoneer. I mentioned that in the deck tech. This is the first time I've actually played against this card. Hymn to Turok does do the thing, but they also have Force Will in their hand. And I need to draw land before any of that's even on the table. Land? Land then? Okay, Thoughtseize. I'll try that. They drew Lotus Petal. I'm going to take their Kappa. I just 100% can't beat it. And now I'm wrecked. They're going to make 2 constructs, tutor up. Yeah, maybe this one was a mistake. 22 lands in a 53 card deck. I get 2 looks at it. Guess I can't be too mad. That was just sort of like one of those calculations that's like, do I want to swing for the fences or be careful? And without knowing the matchup, I think that keeping a hand that can represent discard into Hymn to Turok is a big one. And Dark Confidant, but I mean, now I'm just mega dead. Yeah, okay. And they saw Thoughtseize Inquisition, Dark Confidant. They might think I'm like Mono Black Pox or something, which I'm not sure how much that changes what they're going to do. I like Meltdown. I like Nullrod. Plague Engineer is non-zero. Pyroblast countering Kappa matters. Cauldra can actually beat Kappa in combat. Blood Moon lines up well against Urza Saga, but I think casting my spells is more important. I'm just upgrading Lightning Bolt into Pyroblast. Anything that I could bolt, I can also Pyroblast. I suppose that's not accurate. A 3/3 or smaller construct token, I can't Pyroblast. Sudden Edict, actually. Dees. Rampage, Dees. I like the discard spells. Marchesa seems like kind of a dream. Jute is actually really bad. Not interested in Jute. Marchesa does have Death Touch. Yeah, like Death Touch bodies pressuring Kappa are pretty nice. The Edicts pressure Kappa. Kaya can hit a construct or whatever comes out of the construct. I think I do want Cauldra. This isn't a deck with a lot of removal. Lion Sash, not important here. I like Bob. I like some number of Plow. Maybe Prismatic Ending. It depends on if they're a Chalice deck or not, which they probably are. Consume is my most important card in this matchup. Blood Moon countering Saga matters, but me having my own mana available to play matters more, I think. I'm going to cut one of the Marchesas. No, I'm going to cut a Prismatic Ending and bring Marchesa back in. I just think that I have to apply pressure. This isn't a deck that I can grind into dust and then win with whatever's left over. I need a real win condition available. Bringing in Nullrod's also a reason to cut Jute and Lion Sash. I did it just because they're ineffective in the matchup, but that's also a layer to consider. Okay, I have the best card in my deck. I'm keeping this. Just gonna Badlands go. If they have a turn 1 Emery, I can counter it. They try to shove a Kappa through, I can counter that. I don't think that's a thing that can reasonably happen on turn 1, but I am prepared for it. Soul Guide Lantern, sure. Bobble. Pedal. All right, yeah, just... Okay, they're playing around discard and straight into consume. I welcome that play pattern. Embrace it completely. They haven't seen white mana yet or white cards. We're going to play the Urborg and hope it doesn't help them. I don't think it would. I guess Ancient Tomb, they don't have to take 2 damage off it. But I don't think they're going to have a black card or something that wouldn't have for mana otherwise. Ball Bomb. Is it Kappa time? Thoughtcast. I am going to Pyroblast Thoughtcast. Because I'm about to consume all these things that could help Kels. Cast Kappa. And hope their hand is not Force of Will. The consume will be behind the Urza Saga. That's actually pretty awkward. I think I still want to make my move on it. Okay. Yeah, pop Lotus Petal, draw a card. They actually... Okay, sure. That didn't actually destroy anything, but it did get everything out of play, which is the same thing. And then consume will eat anything that Emery would be enjoying otherwise. And I think I just play Marchesa and don't attack. She is. Become the Monarch. No attack, pass the turn. Urza Saga. Powerful card against my deck right now. Shadow Spear big enough to get me through. Alright, that's a great Wasteland. Pressuring Saga matters a lot here. Might be a little behind, but if they make a second construct, then they won't get a construct out of the other one. That's just how mana works. If they can get their construct big enough holding Shadow Spear to take the Monarch, then I'll just attack with my creatures and take it back. 3/3. Any artifact does it here. That counts. Even get the 3/3 Hitotsugu back end to block with next turn. If they come up with a smaller creature here, push the Monarch back and forth. I get the Death Touch creature and the Hitotsugu Shadow. Cool. I can attack with my 2 creatures that can attack. I'm going to attack with both in case they have, like, Hydroblast or thing. Monarchy returns to me. I'm going to Wasteland their Saga before it gets to dig again. And I'm going to cast Dark Confidant. And I'm holding up Swords to Plowshares. They bobbled me, seeing Batterskull. Nullrod's not bad. I'm going to plow now before they draw the card with Bobble. This played around Force of Negation. Force of Will was going to stop this regardless. And before they draw another card that could be Force, I'll remove that. City with Psy. Okay, this could go pretty wide against me, depending on how many artifacts they've been sandbagging. And I did not bring in my Plague Engineers. Okay, looks like they just have none. Land off Bob. Best possible scenario. Whenever Vessel deals damage, period. So if they chump or like bounce off Psy, all of my creatures have Death Touch or some additional text. I will continue to push with them. Cool. So Vessel gets bigger. And then jam Batterskull or jam Nullrod. I think it's Nullrod. Just put that middle finger high in the air. Do not want to see any trample off of Shadow Spear anymore. Chalice on 1. Okay. Ooh, new Thopter art. Thanks, Magic Online, for reminding me that's a thing. Mox Opal. I think they drew Opal this turn. Like, there's a good chance they had Chalice already last turn and just couldn't cast it with their mana, but Opal, I feel like they would have deployed. Oh, that was awkward. They just played a Seat of the Synod that they can't activate because of Nullrod, and it killed their 2-mana land. I don't know if that was ill-conceived or what. I can just trade the Monarchy back and forth to keep Bob. I think that's better, because I get the 1/1 attacker as well. I think me having a steady stream of cards is more important than them having a steady stream of cards right now. Chalice on 0 just to get a 1/1. Sure. Another Chalice on 0, countered by their first Chalice on 0, but gets them another 1/1. Got it. I am going to fetch for the minor thinning at this point. Normally I'm not huge on fetching for thinning, but I'm not doing anything else with my fetch lands in this deck. There's no Brainstorm. Bob, show me the money. Swords of Plowshares doesn't help because of Chalice. Consume. That should end game. They have 4 blockers. All right, let's just consume this. Red, black, colorless. I lose my 2 assassins, but they lose everything. Yeah, Hidetsugu consumes all is dope. I love this card. I'm glad that this Mardu attrition pile landed post Neon Dynasty that I got to play with this card. I probably want 3 of this in the deck. I was trying to keep the curve a little lower than that for both Bob and land count considerations, but it's just good enough. I think 4 is excessive, but third one's pretty good. Right, now that I've confirmed seen Sai, I think I need the Plague Engineers in the deck, both of them. Liliana of the Veil, honestly, seems bad against most of the deck, but it isn't out to Kappa. I'm softer on Cauldra, especially on the draw, and with only 1 weapon left in the deck, I can start shaving Stoneforge Mystics. Like, if I draw the Batterskull before the Mystic or draw 2 Mystics, this is not a Brainstorm deck that can put 1 back in. Definitely confirmed that they're a Chalice deck, which was always suspected. I could go lower on Stoneforge Mystic and bring Blood Moon in, but I don't think that's the correct way to play against Saga in this matchup. I really don't like 3 Stoneforge Mystic, 1 Batterskull. That just seems like not the right distribution, but I guess I can bring an Ending back in now that Chalice is confirmed and we're on the draw. 2 Mystics, 1 Batterskull. That actually seems fine. Just a little package as a treat. This is not a keep. Mulligan, the 1-lander. God, there really are more lands in this deck than I play in most decks. Even Dark Bant only has 23 lands. It's the same number, and that deck is built to hit its land drops. I am probably going to have to mulligan this one also. This hand just dies to Chalice. Mulligan. Okay, this one has Meltdown in it. This is a snappity-keepity. I'm going to send... Like, Plow is good against Emery. Alright, with Bob, I don't need to hold on to Marchesa. Like, I guess I don't need Ending if I have Meltdown, because Meltdown will clean up anything that Ending would, and I can keep Plow in case they do start on Emery, which Plow and which Meltdown and Ending don't clear. Alright, this is the plan. And go. Love to see it. Through the Consume. I'm happy to see that. Let's stick this Dark Confidant now. Bobble. Bobble. Uh-oh. Is it Kappa time? They're 1 short of Kappa. I am slightly worried about Kappa. But I am going to cast Dark Confidant and get to work here. What do I want to do with my mana? I want double black. Do I want double red? Is that important? Like, is it Scrubland or Badlands here? The Caracas makes white. Red, black. I can cast Consume regardless here. I'm just going to grab a second Badlands. Bob, get in there. Try not to die to any turtles. Between the Meltdown and the Consume, I'm actually in a good shape to, like, clear any material around a turtle. Ooh, Kappa in the graveyard. Sai in the graveyard also. Oh, Sai in play also. Alright, immediately regretting not getting a white source. Blitzsteinmeier is a white source. Wasteland is good. Yeah, if I could Plow this turn and Wasteland, that would be a lot better, but not a thing. Caracas can bounce Emery temporarily. It could also bounce Sai, but I'm more worried about Emery. I think I just want to Caracas and bounce Emery. I'm less worried about Sai with the Meltdown and the Consume in my hand. I can clean up Sai business. Emery is not reasonable, though. I can bounce Emery this turn and play Consume, which will clear out the ground stuff. And then next turn, exile the graveyards before Emery gets to activate. So I would like to sweep up the Saga business. I think I have to hold on to the Consume. I could Wasteland Consume. Like, force the action on the Saga activation. But Emery is still in the game here. Second Saga. Yikes. I guess I don't need to... I have Meltdown, so I don't really need to plan for the world's nuttiest Consume. Yeah, if I had just fetched white on the previous turn, all of this would be a lot easier. Liliana of the Veil. Okay, is it Wasteland? Is it Consume? Is it Plow? Is it just Caracas, bounce your thing? I think I'm going to bounce Emery again. And I'm going to play Wasteland for the other Urza Saga. Like, let them work through this one. I'll hit them with the Consume. And then, hopefully out of gas. I'm going to waste the other one. We know Emery's in their hand. If I can find a discard spell to check their hand for Thoughtseize, that's a big deal. Or check their hand with Thoughtseize, check for Force of Will. But I want to take 6 and go to 9 and leave Dark Confidant in play. Oh, okay. That makes that a little easier. If they're just gonna, like, pile up. Oh god, that card's a problem. Can't kill that one with anything that I have in my deck. And I can plow it, but that's all I can do. All of these sweepers that I've been planning around for the whole game don't hit that one. Chalice on 1. Also troublesome. They have expended so much mana that they can't equip Shadow Spear to their 12/12 this turn. Yeah, definitely required to block. Bob, you're gone. Made a good run, buddy. Weird that Sai didn't attack. That felt like free damage to me. Okay, what can we do here? I feel like it just has to be Consume, because that also checks the Emery. They have Force of Will. I'm SOL anyway. One of us is in trouble here. They had the Force. Okay, yeah, we're just dead. All right. Was not able to push through that one. Never got to check their hand was part of the problem. Well, part of the problem was that I fetched in a way that made sense at the time, and then immediately on the next draw step, I just had 2 mana unspent for multiple turns in my deck that's trying to control the board. While they added to the board, I just didn't spend my 2 mana twice. That's just not a way that you win a game of Magic. It just... I don't know if I could have predicted that I would need white mana in that way. Maybe I should have been more aware of it. It's the idea of like Swords to Plowshares, I think was already in my hand. And then, yeah, I don't think I considered using Caracas in addition to casting Plow with Caracas. I think I just like forgot that all the creatures in their deck are legends and I could have fetched better. And that would have bought me a lot of time in that match to like dying to 8 cast with Consume and Meltdown in your hand it hurts. 2-3 record, final record with this deck. Something probably needs to be done with the mana in the deck. I think adding another Urborg and cutting Umezawa's Jutei. Like this card just somehow just isn't a legacy card anymore. Removal's too good. I mentioned it in the deck tech that it's really hard to actually equip a creature and connect with it. And then cards like Prismatic Ending exist, which can just remove the Jutei itself. That card used to just threaten loom over entire games and just threaten to end it at any time, and it just doesn't do that anymore. So I'm off it. Add a second Urborg. A second copy of a legendary land is tough, but it is just a raw extra land in the deck, and it's the best land at getting your spells cast in the early game. I'm in for that. Let's do that. There are still 3 equipment with Lion Sash, Batterskull, Cauldra for the Stoneforge Mystic. Could go to 3 Stoneforge Mystic and add a Consume. You could also turn Liliana or Kaya into Consume. Never drew March of Otherworldly Light. That's disappointing. This is a card I wanted to try. Okay, main deck answers to Murktide Regent. That's another thing that we need to figure out. There's the 4 Plow. That's the best one. Then if we can keep the board clear, there's Rampage, Liliana, and Edict that can kill it if it's their only creature. I feel like that's a respectable amount, but the Delver deck is better at digging through and finding the Murktide Regent than you are. Like, you just have to sort of draw them and hope it lines up right. I'm going to add a 3rd Consume and shave a Prismatic Ending. Just thinking about cards like Shadow Spear and Chalice of the Void and the type of things that you want Prismatic Ending for, Consume does sweep those up along the way. I kind of like the Planeswalkers. You don't want to be too long on 3 drops, especially with the Marchesa adding up the 4-drop slot. There is kind of this heavy awkward side of the deck, but just the effect of this is undeniable, and having another one feels right. And we just added a land to help cast it. The 7 main deck answers to Murktide Regent are added in the board to the 3 Pyroblast. So there's 10 answers to Murktide Regent post board. And that's for a resolved one. Like, that's not even talking about him or Thoughtseize beating up on it beforehand. It is a problem. Like, it is do or die when that card comes down. At some point, you have to acknowledge that there are other decks in the format too. I think I'm going to chill right here where we are with the current setup. If you want to add another Sudden Edict and cut a Stoneforge Mystic, I think that's fine. I like Dark Confidant as an engine more than I like Stoneforge Mystic in this deck. I am kind of feeling the Bob vibes here. I'm going to add a second Sudden Edict. Let's do that. And then Season to Taste from here, but I feel like this deck was pretty reasonable on the first draft, and we just tuned up a couple things that we now know after playing a league with it. I'm wondering if there's a better card to play than Blood Moon. That is kind of a sick one against specifically like lands and 12 posts. They're going to have Besejus now, but I think you're just not winning those matches without this. So Wasteland and Consume are powerful tools in... Wasteland's good against both of those decks, and Consume is good against lands, especially like eating their explorations and clearing their saga tokens and nuking their loam engine. Pretty significant there. I could also imagine a build of this deck that just isn't a Stoneforge Mystic deck, just that opens up 6 slots in the main deck to do other stuff with. But I do like Thoughtseize into powerful 2-drop, just as a plan. Which, if I like it that much, I should probably have more than 3 1-mana discard spells in the deck. If I add Inquisition and cut Lightning Bolt, I think Lightning Bolt is the weakest removal spell in the deck. It can hit a Planeswalker. We did Bolt to Grist in this league, which matters a lot. And Angrass Rampage is our other answer to Planeswalkers. Yeah, Otherworldly Light doesn't hit them. Prismatic Ending can hit them if they're 3-drops or smaller. Okay, up 1 discard spell, which is a worse top deck than Lightning Bolt in any sort of grindy mid-game situation. But now we're just in the weeds of the problems with non-Brainstorm decks, and I'm not here to litigate whether you should be playing Brainstorm or not. I think when we're brewing, we don't need to have the obvious, well, it's not a blue deck conversation. Inquisition Thoughtseize, like leaning into the plan of check your hand on turn 1, then do something powerful, whether it's Stoneforge Mystic, Dark Confidant, or Hymn to Tarok on turn 2. I like that lineup. Adding a 1-mana discard spell helps there. Still have a robust enough Stoneforge package. Love Dark Confidant. And, okay, now I'm going to leave it alone. I have made the changes that I can make after playing the league. I think this is a better tuned version of the deck than we started with. Still, I think I sold myself on Blood Moon, though you do have a lot of cool tools. I think the Wasteland, the Consume, the real pressure in Kaldra, Kaya helps against lands and that sort of deck, and just adding Blood Moon layer to it is just another thing they have to deal with. I'm sold. Leave it in for now. If you try this deck, let me know how it goes. But I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you to my anonymous donor for submitting the brew challenge of Red Guy Ale. This was a fun puzzle to approach. I love brewing up unique twists on existing archetypes. Just very specifically, I am into that. And I hope you all enjoyed this league. We ran a little bad. Opponents ran a little good. But that's Magic. We got some good games out of it either way. Thank you all for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.